Before I started this class, I consider myself fairly technologically literate, but I can honestly say that I learned some new tricks in EDM310. Things like how to set up a blog. Let's see, this is my blog here. How to create new blog posts. How to add an RSS feed, which is a feed from the EDM310 class blog here. I also added links to different blogs that I'm following on my blog, and then I added links to the different instructions that Dr. Strange gave us on the EDM310 class blog, so I know where to find them at. Other things that I learned, let's see, go to the beginning here. I learned how to create a Wordle, which was kind of cool. And then another interesting thing that I learned that I didn't know about before, let's see if I can find it, is how to use Google Docs. And having been a Gmail user for years, I never even knew that Google Docs existed before this class. And it's something that I really feel like I'll use a lot. We used it to keep track of our assignments. We used it for different checklists, telephone lists, and then also to create a survey, which is here. This was my USA student analysis. This was one of the good things that I learned about. And what Google Docs allows you to do is send the survey out, and then when you get it back, it gives it to you in spreadsheet format. And so these are all the answers that the people gave me. So I was able to analyze those results. So I liked both of those. I learned how to upload videos to YouTube. Here's my YouTube channel. These are all EDM310 videos. So you can see that before this class I had 0 videos uploaded. And then afterwards I had quite a few. I learned how to create and edit podcasts. That's on my blog. We did a group podcast. It's one of the group projects that we do. And it's just an audio podcast where we recorded an interview with Mr. Sullivan. If we can find it. Here it is. And it just takes you to, it's just an audio file, but it plays from my blog. I was able to embed it on there.
Angelica. I am 20 years old and a student at USA.
So I thought that's something that I could definitely use on a blog. A new way of providing information, kind of. Something that I hadn't done before this class. I learned how to generate embed codes on YouTube. As you can see, I have videos on here. This was a smartboard presentation. It's something else that I had used before, but I really learned a lot more about it through this class. I learned what a multimedia document was, and I actually created one for this class. And what a multimedia document is it gives you more than just the text like in a book. It gives you audio, which I had the podcast on here. It gives you video from YouTube. It gives you the text, but it also gives you images, and it gives you links to different web pages that would be sort of more to the story than what your document might provide. I learned how to create screen capture videos, which is what this is. It allows you to teach using the computer rather than trying to give a presentation. I use iShowU HD, also something that I learned how to use in this class. I learned about Symbaloo, which is a really cool tool for organizing your online profile, your digital profile. I use mine for my PLN. I have different blogs on here, but you can use it from everything from football to Apple, Gmail, Facebook, social networking. It's just a great place to organize all your thoughts and all your different things that you're working on. Those are some of the things that are more the nuts and bolts things that I learned in this class. But another big section, I would say probably the bigger section of this class, has to do with concepts. And the way that we learn concepts in this class is by doing blog posts, C4T assignments, and C4C assignments. And what happens is by reading and summarizing the C4T and C4C blog posts, I was also exposed to new ideas and experiences that I think are the key to what makes this class effective. In my opinion, I would say the goal of this class is to open our minds to new ways of teaching, to expose us to teachers who do things a little differently. Like here I have Mr. Fothergill, and he has a great blog about just his everyday teaching experiences. And it also gives us a sounding board with our other classmates, for our ideas and opinions. When you do your C4C, and someone does theirs, they comment on your ideas, and they kind of, whether they agree with you or they don't agree with you, you get to hear their point of view better. Some of my favorite posts that I came across were the iSchool Initiative, which is by this guy named Travis Allen. It's an organization that encourages the use of electronic devices in classroom learning. I liked one of my real favorites was Dr. Pausch's last lecture, and it's a real inspiring lecture that he gives. His last lecture, sort of about his life, but beyond the inspiring, he gives a lot of information about what it means to be a teacher, how to treat your students, what to expect from them, and so I took a lot from that video also. I learned about ALEX, which is the Alabama Learning Exchange, and what that is it's a place where first-year teachers like myself especially can go to and grab new resources from teachers who have been there before and taught the lessons before, so that we're not just kind of flying blind. We have extra resources to use. I thought that would be really beneficial to me. One of my C4Ts that I thought was really insightful was this post by St. Pius X School in New Zealand, and it was called A New Twist to Parent Engagement. And what they did was they had the students during one of the parent nights teach their parents how to do some of the things that they were learning in their technology classes. And I thought that was a great idea because I personally learn better when I teach people how to do something, and also it kind of affirms their parents' commitment to their education. So I thought that was good on both accounts. One of the best posts was what I've learned this year, and it was by a first-year teacher who kind of wrote about his experiences, what he expected, and what ended up happening, what he ended up experiencing, and it kind of puts things in perspective for me, so that I know where my expectations should be. I know, kind of going into it, I'm not totally surprised, and it was nice of him to do that and put that online for everyone to see. I really like using gadgets on computers, so the Symbaloo, the screen capture. I thought were a lot of fun to do. They were probably the most fun assignments to me. But I think what makes EDM310 great are the blog post assignments. I feel like the blog post assignments prove to me that a marriage between technology and teaching is beneficial. And that's something that I would try to take advantage of when I start teaching. And I think that was sort of the purpose of the class. And I would say it was definitely a success.